Hi, soul family. I thought it would be time for us to do a reading. We've had our full moon. We've passed 11/11, which was both of them were very significant dates. The full moon, of course, is a great time for releasing what it is that we no longer wish to carry in our lives. And 11/11 being a divine number twice is definitely got manifesting power. So it's interesting how you're manifesting and letting go at the exact same time. So I don't know how you guys found it, but the days leading up to the full moon for me were pretty intense. Emotions all over the place. And, oh, I just wondered if I had, oh look, Tammy, I just wanted to show, this little owl is a gift from Tammy. Wait, I put it on top of my turquoise. What was I saying? Oh, the emotions were all over the place, like really, like all over the place. I've been doing a lot of deep thinking, which isn't an energy that I like to be in. I would prefer to be in a lighter, fun energy, right? That's the playful part of me is more, is where I want to hang out. I don't really want to hang out in this deep thought, but there's been a lot of deep thinking about, you know, where things have been and where things are going and what I've been through and what am I hearing and what am I seeing and how is this working and I prefer to just surrender the whole bloody thing, really, you know. I was gonna just do the regulars, but my regular glasses, but it's so bright right now. You want to see Canyon Lake today? It's pretty beautiful. It's very, very calm. Very, very calm and beautiful energy. Peaceful. There's a little bit of a breeze, as you can hear. Look at my wind chimes. I've got like a wind chime factory. I have so many. It's gorgeous out there. I could actually row on the lake today. You know, I look at that now, and I probably should have gone and done this afterwards. I haven't been on that lake for, I haven't rowed my boat, I mean my canoe for so long, I can't even tell you when the last time was. Anyway, I decided that we needed to do a reading because it has been a little while. So I hope you guys have made it through the crazy energy, and Mercury retrograde's been a tough one. It's been a very tough year, actually, surprisingly. And I kind of got a message from somebody else's opinion, and I mean, I listen to, you know, to what I hear. And what I was getting was that somebody was viewing me as seeing the glass half empty instead of half full. And I thought, really? I don't really consider myself that way. I consider myself always trying to see the positive, right? Trying to see a way through a situation. But I caught myself because I put up some posts yesterday, and they're all about animals, and it was like they were showing that like, I guess, detach. I got to detach. President Trump's organization, whoever the heck they were, took away the safety act for many of, or for our wolves, for a lot of the animals, and there were people that sued to stop that from happening. So they were preventing it from their protection from being taken away. And I said, good, you know, it's great, you know, but they didn't actually take away or stop it all. They've stopped. Oh, the osprey's here. There he is. I knew it was him. Oh my God. And I know you guys weren't able to see him. He's gonna land up on the trees over there. So, okay, that's a message for us. Basically, my message was, it was the same message that I was basically saying for a lot of different things. People were saying, oh, this is going on now. And everyone's supposed to jump up and down and say, yay, that's wonderful. But when you look at it, no, they're not really. They really haven't done that. They're letting you see that they've done this, but there's this, like they, what was it, which state, I can't remember, has decided that they're not going to proceed and use animal testing for cosmetics. And everyone was all excited, but if you go and you look at the, you know, the fine print, it's no, that's not the truth. The truth is they've decided to not use quite as many. And while that's great, it doesn't help all the other ones who are being tortured and massacred, right? So I was looking at that, and I thought, well, maybe if you were looking at my page and you were seeing that, you would think, geez, you know, can't you just be happy about something, you know, a positive move? Do you have to focus on the negative part of it? Well, it's not that. I am happy, but you should be doing that anyway. And you're lying to the public by telling them that you've done this you put a blanket statement on this when in all actuality you've touched it. Like, I'm a raging alcoholic, and you say I'm sober. I've been going to classes. There's a magpie class, so I just hit on something. I'm sober. I've been going to classes, and I've been dealing with and when in all reality is you're not sober. You didn't drink for the last week, and you just started classes. There's our first card. So my thing is, I look deeper, right? I'm not going to take anything at surface value, especially when it's something that important. And for me, what's important is that I defend and I stand up for the animals, and they don't have a voice. We have to be their voice. So if you want to think of me as being negative for not taking, not saying, oh great, good job, good job, you animal torturers. You're only going to torture, maybe an eighth of them now. Great, you need a gold star. No, you don't deserve any gold star. You deserve you need to stop all of it, period. So anyway, that's that. I'm an animal activist, what can I tell you? And the osprey, so the osprey just showed up, and the osprey says that there's important information pending, right? Stay on the vigilant and stay alert to what it is. You're going to have an opportunity in front of you, and the opportunity is going to ask you to act quickly. Dive on this opportunity. The opportunity may not come around again anytime soon, if ever. So I got a message about that earlier today as well, that something was going to be offered to me, and somebody was going to come in basically after, just out of the blue, after all kinds of negative, and say, here, this is what's going to happen, and you got 5 minutes to decide. And my message is, I'm going to look into this, and if this doesn't feel right to me, I don't proceed, period. Right? So now you may surprise yourself, and you may move quickly on something, and other people may think you're a nut, but it's going to be based on what your heart's telling you, what your intuition is telling you, and what you know to be true yourself, what you believe to be true to yourself. So that may be what's coming with important information pending. So I asked this morning, I guess it is still this morning, which decks to use, and I thought I wanted to use decks that I haven't used in a really long time. It's been too long, and I don't use them because I prefer other decks, but there's reasons I got these decks in the first place. So the decks we're going to work with are the Oracle of the Dragonfae, the Faery Oracle, the Fairy Forest Oracle. That one's a difficult one to work with, and that's why I probably ignore it a lot, because these decks are better for me, like when I'm doing a reading and or a personal reading with someone and I want to get really deep into something. And then the other one is the Oracle of the Mermaids, which you think I would use a lot since I'm the mermaid. So the items that you guys, oops, I hope you didn't see that. I didn't look. The items that we're going to work with today are the Undersea Garden, the Undersea World. And as I always point out, there are two phoenixes rising from the ashes here. You can see the peacock, and they're dragons. Here I see dragons rising, right, from Atlantis. This I love. I know you guys have seen it before, but you can't see it enough. It's amazing. So that is obviously going to be water element, okay? And then I made Sammy broke his collar. He has I don't call them collars, his necklace. These are crystal diffuser bracelets and necklaces that I make, right? And this is his, and he broke it. Well, I don't know if him and Liger were playing. It was snapped all over the place. So it showed me that his energy had released himself from something. And so I started to restring this last night for him because he was on his way to the vet last night, and I wanted him to be calm. But it's too big. I made it too big for him. I knew I was making it too big for him as I was making it. But it was like I wanted everything, I don't know, I wanted to use as many of these special crystals in here. There's amethyst, Schwarzkopf, is that how you say it? Crystals, they're beautiful. And black lava stone, and hematite, and clear quartz. So he wore it anyway. I charged him. I did Reiki on him and on this, and I had him wear it for a while, but I'm gonna have to make it a little bit smaller so it's not too much. So there's this. This is his little healing cat necklace. And that will be for, I just heard air signs, air element. Sorry, I keep saying that. And then for earth elements, we've got the bear. This is the bear is the state of California. And that was another one of the things that I spoke about that I was so annoyed with is I'm Canadian, right? I'm a landed immigrant. I have a green card. So I'm a legal alien in this country. I don't have an American citizenship. And I'm from British Columbia, North Vancouver, Canada. And the province of British Columbia decided to ban grizzly bear hunting because they termed it wasn't socially acceptable. And that was another one of my things that I posted, and I said, yay, you know, so sad that the only reason you stopped butchering these beautiful animals is because you didn't think it was socially acceptable. You know, it should be something that should be banned worldwide, period, on all of our animals. You know, did you want to wait until California? There are no more brown bears in, like the grizzly bears, there's none in California. There's some of the black bears left, but the grizzlies were completely obliterated here. You know, did you want to wait until that happened? You know, they literally were allowing people, they lifted a ban and they were allowing them hunters to go in, and I think they still are in other provinces, and shoot, and they showed it, and it's hard for me. See, I can't deal with that. I can't watch that, and I can't hear it. I can't see it. I'm too much of an animal empath, and I can't deal with that. But they went into the den and shot the mother and the babies. And then they just shot the mother and left the babies. And it's just like, what is wrong with people? This planet needs to snap together. They need to get it together. Okay, so this is in respect of the grizzly bear. And then this one, this is there's a lot of fossils in here, fossilized rock. My Uncle Phil and I were at Weequahic Falls in Wisconsin, and he was telling me when he was a little kid, he loved going to that particular falls because it would wash, I don't know where from, but up river, it would wash down, and he could find these little fossilized leaves and little things that were in there. So he was looking around all over the place for them, and it's funny because when you look for something, you never find it, right? So I said I wanted to find one for him and give it to him as a gift because he was so excited and he was looking everywhere. And I literally looked down at my feet and there it was. And so I picked it up and I put it in my pocket, and then I found another and I found another. So I gave them to him, and then I kept this one for myself. And in here, you can see, I'm going to see how many I can count for you. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 shells. Where's the other one? There's 3 shells on this side, and on the other side are the leaves. And you can see where the impressions were, where they kind of dug in there and out. And the ones that I gave him, the ones that I found for him were really cool. They had the shells, and they had a leaf, and it was just beautiful. So this is, it's important for me right now for some reason. Not unusual that it's important for me that Uncle Phil and that this means something to me because of being with Uncle Phil, but something about something being fossilized. Because one of my clients wrote to me last night, she sent me a picture and she said, can you tell me what crystal this is? And she showed it to me, and I thought, oh, that looks like a special, we have a black phoebe here right now as well, flycatcher. That's gonna be a totem that we're gonna talk about. Hold on, I'm gonna let you see. This is black phoebe right here. There's a message, and I think it's a time frame. That's why that's really cool. Hey, little one. Hey, little one. Okay, so we got I called it a magpie. I always call it a magpie. It's the mockingjay went by first, then the osprey, and then the black phoebe. So she shows me this crystal, and I looked at it, and there's a stone in, it's called a Petrosky. I'm gonna say it wrong. Petrosky stone, I think, in Michigan, that you find on the beach, and it's got these. It looks like it's a type of coral now. It's like a rock. It used to be a coral in the bay there, and it looked like that to me. And so I started looking up all the different crystals that were actually fossils, and I realized I've got coral pieces. That's what it is. It ends up being, it's coral, but it ends up being a rock. So there's something about something being fossilized that means something to me, and I'll just leave it at that and see what comes. And if I can think of what it is, something that was here a very long time ago. It kind of reminds me of the same message that you get from the petrified wood. Petrified wood standing the test of time, right? It starts out as a tree, it falls to the ground, and instead of rotting, it literally turns into a stone and it becomes petrified wood. So the coral was from the ocean, so I guess would be emotions, right? And it's washed up on shore, and instead of rotting, it literally turned into, or falling apart or crushing, it turns into a stone. So it's standing the test of time, I guess, as well. Something that you believe in, something that you, that maybe nobody else did and nobody else does, but you do. You have confidence in this, you know this, you had faith in this, and because of that belief and strong faith that you have in something, it's coming about. It's coming about. And the ones that thought you were crazy or didn't have any belief in that are going to want to jump on your side and basically say, oh yeah, you know, they're going to want to believe in it too now. But of course, while you were going through it, you were the only one. Everyone thought you were crazy. So it might be about that. We'll see. So that will be, so this is water element, this is air element, this is earth, and this will be fire. How interesting that something from the water turns into fire. Fire element. I see an animal in here as I'm looking at it. What are you? What are you? Okay, so I'm hearing a pig. I'll show it to you. There's its eye, there's its ear, there's its nose. Pig. Pig talks about abundance and prosperity. I heard pig, I don't know why. I just did. It could be, I could have seen any other animal in it. On this side, I see a bear. There's his ear, there's his eye. You see him right there? I see a bear. A police officer, somebody from the state of California. Okay, so that is fire element. Interesting. Okay, and what we're gonna do right now is, I thought I brought it out here. I was gonna light my incense. I've been walking around with my lighter this whole time, and now I can't find it. Okay. So a fire element was a police officer for the state of California, says that fossil. So that might have something to do with a person that you are connected to when it comes to this reading. Okay. Well, where are we going to put you? Okay. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. We didn't get the fourth. 1. Okay, so the mermaids, we haven't gotten the mermaids yet. And then we'll begin. So get your items chosen, and you can choose them choose them in the order of what you've chosen, because you can choose more than one, right? So what are the order that I'm gonna pick? The order is 1, 2, 3. Interesting. So weird. Because of the elements that I have in my own signs, my own chart, I should choose something different than I am. But I always seem to go for the ones that are, obviously I guess you're gonna like what you are, right? But I seem to want a message from those. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality. I ask that the angels of light, pure white light, come to assist us. Any of the ascended masters working with the light. How interesting that I said that. Any of the ascended masters working with the light. That's something I need to research. Does that mean that somebody can ascend and be working with dark energy? I guess so. So any of those ascended masters working in the light. Wow, that's incredible. As I said that, a vulture comes flying towards me. Death, transformation, and rebirth. I would think that if they pass back into spirit and go back up into spirit, they would return to the light. But I guess they have a choice too, wouldn't they? There we go. Wow, that's really interesting. I never have thought about that before. And also I brought out here messages from your animal spirit guides, because I haven't used Stephen Farmer's deck for a really long time either. And I have my deck, The Naked Truth, and we're going to work with them all. So we're going to begin with those who chose the water element. Correct for neutrality. Which pile are we going to work with first? One. Hold on. I gotta see which one goes to which. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Okay. I haven't worked for these for such a long time. This is gonna be interesting for me as well. All right. So show me the order that we work with. That one? How interesting. I wouldn't have chosen this for myself. The Elder. The Dragon. Didn't I say that there were 2 dragons in here? Heed Wise Counsel. Oh my gosh. There's another message from another deck that talks about heeding Wise Counsel. And you see this ancient one sitting there in the forest. This one looks to me like the hermit. It's got the staff, right? The hermit has the staff. He goes and he seeks enlightenment. He knows. He goes into the forest. He goes in the forest to become enlightened. That's where he goes. The number is 30. So 33 is saying the Ascended Masters are working with you. Probably one that you are familiar with. So who on your team, on your own physical team, in your own life, has gone back into spirit that would be working with you? Well, this one is a very stern one, an ancient one. Because what they're dealing with is something very, very serious. This reminds me of my uncle. When I was a little girl, I was terrified of my uncle because he was 6'3.5" and he had a big black beard, and big down to here, and he was a hunter, which of course I hated, and he murdered elk and deer and moose, and I hated him because of it, and I was terrified. He's actually a very kind person, but you couldn't tell, and he scared me, and my mom and him didn't get along, and it's kind of giving me the same message. So this might be somebody's uncle in spirit. This person, you can't see the same thing as what I couldn't see behind my uncle's eyes. I couldn't tell until he was a lot older that he had these big laugh lines. I couldn't tell when I was young and when he was younger. So I never saw, he had a very dry sense of humor. I never knew what was a joke to him or not, but mostly everything was. Everything was like, he had a very dry sense of humor, very funny, and not a horrible person that I thought he was my whole life. So you don't see this one often. You don't see the laughter in this one. This one keeps a very stern face. And you don't hear the warmth in their voice because they hold their feelings inside. But they're very, very strong. They've taught many people and have learned many, many things. So this one rules the natural world, rules over the natural world. That's why they're in the jungle here, or in the forest here. You can see these 2 little dragons right below listening to this one, right? So what they're talking to you about are the important, well, basically kind of what I was just talking about. And to ignore the advice and the wisdom that comes from this one is not going to go well for you. You're being told to listen to the wisdom that comes with this one. Right now, Spirit is saying, pay attention to what you're learning, to the lessons that you're going through, why you're going through what you're going through. The teachers in your life that come to you and they're very stern with you, they do that because they love you, because they care about you. And sometimes the words are very harsh because the truth needs to be understood. Like what I said, that's great. We can all clap for all those people, but there's a lot more going on, right? We need to be careful about, this is our planet. This planet needs to be taken care of. The animals need to be taken care of and protected. We're the ones, right? So this goes beyond that too. Someone might come to you with advice or wisdom, and they may feel like they're saying something they're not loving, or they're not being fair to you. But they understand because they've been through something that you have not. And there are things that you have to go through to learn. Because this one is a master. You're not yet a master. So it talks about you're going through a difficult time. You're studying something, you're trying to get a project off the ground, whatever it is, it's a nightmare. And you feel like walking away from it. Like, I'm over it, right? Sometimes you're disrespectful. Sometimes when somebody tries to teach you a different way of looking at it, you fight that. It's having authority issues. I don't like authority. I don't like authority because most of the time it's abusive, right? So, and yet there's we have to obey the law, right? You've got to obey the law. There's reasons the law are in place, and there's reasons that the laws have been allowed to be in place. The ones that I fight are the unjust laws, like butchering of the animals, taking away their protection, right? No, some laws need to be broken. But at this time, maybe you're going through something really, really difficult. I have been for many, many years. And sometimes we get to the place where we think, can we stop already? Like, if you might feel like you're being picked on. I chose this, right? Maybe, and it feels like, I don't know where the hell I'm going on this path. I feel like I'm doing what my soul is asking me to do. I'm doing what you asked me to do, but I don't see my path. I don't see my path, and at times I question it. So when you start questioning it, the truth of the matter is you've fallen off your path. Because if you are on your path, you don't question it. You follow what your soul is telling you to follow. You know what you're doing. It's when your ego mind gets involved and clouds your judgment. So this is an ancient one that's coming forward, a dragon master, wisdom that you're getting from an ascended master. Spirit is saying that you may get to the place where you start asking outside of yourself, other people. Try to figure things out on the outside, listening to what others have to say. But it's not about relying on others. It's about being proactive and relying on what you have understood, what you get from Spirit, how you commune with Spirit. And there you are. Right as I say that, here comes the osprey. Now, I know what the osprey means. Oh, I love the osprey. Remember that. Remember the truth of what you feel, of what you know, no matter what anybody says to you. So the osprey says important information is pending. Important information is pending. They want you to wait. Information is going to come to you, or an opportunity is going to come to you, and when it does, you're being asked to take that opportunity. Now, maybe it sounds insane, right? It might sound crazy. But I've said to you guys a million times, my dreams I might argue with, but I never argue with my animal messengers. I know what they say when they show up. It is definitely God talking. Now, we've had 3 that made themselves very, very visible. First of all, when I spoke about somebody only telling you a part of the story, the mockingjay went by. Now, the mockingjay is a bird that can mimic or copy what others say. Others do. They can sound like a cat. They can do different things, right? It's talking about copying. And I was saying somebody was showing, or using an example of somebody telling you that, well, this is, I've been clean, sober. And in all reality, they haven't been drinking for a week, maybe a day. A message I'm getting right now is that somebody's going to approach somebody with an offer, a job offer, and they come from a place of money, and they're well respected, but they are toxic. Their energy is toxic, and it's you've got to be careful. So you need to listen to what's coming here, because like the osprey said, the opportunity is coming, right? And you're going to want to dive on it, but you're going to want to make sure that what you dive on is in your highest good. Those talons, they grab hold, they don't let it go. But you've got to listen to the other messengers that came by as well. And the mockingjay came by, and the black phoebe came by. And the black phoebe is a fly catcher. Flies are spoken about as annoyances, right? And the black phoebe feeds on the flies. But fly message has a different message as well. Don't kill your messengers. So you've got to pay attention. This is research that you guys have to do as well, right? The osprey, the black phoebe, the mockingjay. Somebody says one thing to you. Is it them that's saying it? Or are they telling the truth? They're pretending. They're pretending. I just got that. They're pretending. They're not telling the full truth. There's something you're not getting. There's something you're not getting. So you're going to call on the wisdom of your ascended masters, whoever it is that's helping you. Call the wise one. This is about heeding wise counsel. And what's interesting about this is the other deck that has heed wise counsel. This is a really cool way for me to see it this way, because it came up several times. And the message is, you are very educated. You are very knowledgeable. You are very connected in whatever your field is, right? I know. I know this person. I know this situation. I know what I've been shown. I know what I'm feeling. But when heed wise counsel comes up, they said, pay attention to when you see the color green or when it rains. And when the situation arises or the opportunity arises, you're going to think you're going to do something. I'm going to do this. My intuition tells me this. And at that time, Spirit says, you are to heed wise counsel because you don't know the full truth. Remember, somebody's not telling the full story. There's something that you're not seeing. At that time, you were to heed wise counsel. So there is this counselor that's coming forward and is asking you to listen to what your heart is saying, no matter what it looks like on the outside, no matter how bad it seems. Don't rely on the powers that be. Rely on yourself. Pay attention to what you've been taught. Stand in your integrity. Be respectful of the wise ones. Be respectful of them. Don't throw away the true, proven for the latest idea. Right? It's kind of like, I'm old school. So trusted and true is more important to me than this is what they're promising. This is amazing. This is going to do that. But it hasn't been proven, right? That's great. You said that you're going to stop using an eighth of the animals in animal testing. You're not stopping all of it, right? There's something that keeps being repeated in this message. In your family, within your family, there is an elder that has something to say to you, and Spirit wants you to listen to them, even if you are afraid of them. Even if something that they say makes you uncomfortable. Listen to what they're telling you. This is a time when you don't listen to your higher self, you listen to wise counsel. That's what they're telling you. Listen to them. Within the family, there is an elder that has something to say. Listen to them. That's the message. Wow. Within the family. So I don't have any spiritual people in my family, and maybe it doesn't even have to do with that. Maybe I'll have to see who it is. I've got a father. That's the only one that's alive. My uncle's still alive, but I don't talk to him. We'll see what it has to be. But for somebody else, it could be, like I said, it could be an ascended master that's speaking to me, because that was the first message, right? Ascended masters coming with you. And 0 is 3 and 0. 3, the ascended masters are working with you, or an ascended master, and the 0 is a new beginning, something that hasn't started yet. 3 is about, I heard mental. So I'm going to ask for a message from Stephen Farmer's deck. I'll try and keep it as light as possible because I've got to go to my other deck as well. Correct for neutrality on all levels. I love the way this deck feels. The cardstock, it's quite thick. That one. As if we haven't had enough animal messengers today. The shark. Ooh. Trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. You already know something's not right. Right? Trust your instincts. Okay. So now we're going to go to something that's trusted and true, right? We're going to go to something that's trusted and true. How interesting. It's my deck. So from this deck, this is the Naked Truth, 333. What is the, I haven't got these done yet. These have to get done. I've been working with somebody, but she's been in Europe, all over Europe. I've got to get my deck completed. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Is there anything in this deck? I can't take that many. Just give me one. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Is there one in this deck that's helpful? that will be applicable. And it may have to, it may just, we'll see what it has to say. 2 came out. We need some time alone is 1. And she or he is being seduced by another. So what did you get? You got the shark, right? Trust your instincts. You already know that there's something up. I just got they're a weasel. They're a weasel. So because of what I was talking about important information, somebody's being seduced with a job offer. They are promising them something that it's gonna be fantastic. This person's got a lot of money. This person is very respected. But it's not tried, tested, and true. How interesting. So there could be somebody in your family that's offering something, but there's somebody else in your family that's gonna say something to you, that's gonna warn you, and you're not gonna wanna listen to them because maybe they've been the shark. Maybe they have in the past. Maybe they've been someone that you didn't trust. But there's something that they need to say to you that you need to believe. As I said that, I saw a white crane flying in for a landing. Crane people are the jack of all trades, masters of none, but they see an opportunity, they know an opportunity, and that nobody else can see, and they dive on it. They're able to make something out of what other people can't see and what other people can't succeed. That person knows something. That person is who you need to listen to. Because somebody's being seduced by another in another way. That's how I take this message. Okay, correct for neutrality on all levels. And now we just had another little, what are you? A yellow warbler. Yellow warbler is talking about singing and happiness and going after that, going after what makes you happy. Going to a place where it's happy and cheerful, where you can speak your honest truth, be your honest self. That's what the yellow warbler means to me. Yellow is always about the sun. The sun is always, everything about the sun is positive. Things grow, things are happier. The divine masculine is taking charge, right? Without the sun, we would have nothing. Correct for neutrality. Wow, I got a message about Master Jesus right then. Without the sun, we would have nothing. It's really interesting how I'm being brought back to beliefs that I didn't think I believed in anymore. Wow, that may be the master that's talking to me. Okay, so we've done the water element, and now we're gonna go to the bear, which I said was this is fire, this is air, this is bear. Water. No, that's water. That's air. I think I said this was earth element, didn't I? Or maybe I said it was air. I can't remember, but whatever it is, we'll go back. It's either air or earth. You'll know who it is. Whoever chose this, right? So the one that we're going to is the mermaid deck. And the message is telling you, keep going. There's a pair together here. They're going with the flow. The number is 43. I like that. 4 means the angels. The angels are all around you. You're completely guided, protected, and loved. There's no reason for fear. Keep going forward. The number 3 says again, an ascended master is working with you, or the ascended masters, ones that you're familiar with. So you've been moving forward. You've been going through your emotional waters possibly, and you're being encouraged to keep going on your path. Keep moving forward. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it gets to the place where you get really tired, or maybe you don't see, like I said, I don't see my way through. And you maybe want to turn back. You might feel that when things get difficult or the challenges arise or you can't see your way through the forest, maybe you need to turn back, right? But Spirit says no. They're telling you not to enter into agreements in a light way. They want you to be prepared. Endurance makes you strong. Whenever there's a challenge, it causes you to find something in yourself that you didn't think you had to keep moving forward, right? So that makes growth happen within you. And when that happens, you've leveled up a notch and you're able to take on something that previously you wouldn't have been able to take on. At first, it was very difficult. But you've challenged yourself and you realized I was able to do more. If you take off every time it gets difficult, you're not going to get anywhere, right? You're going to swim in that little small, little shallow end of the pool. You're being told to keep going, to endure. So there's a journey that you've set out. You took a mission on. Or maybe Spirit's saying you're going to, and it's time for you to build your endurance. It's time to practice something. It's time to commit fully to something. Stick with something. Hello. And right as I say stick with something, oh, here comes our little hummingbird. And the hummingbird says you will accomplish what might seem impossible to yourself as well as others. Maybe you need to take a breath, right? Get yourself balanced, get yourself centered before you take off again when you get tired, right? So instead of quitting, you take a breath, take a breather, come up for air, and then dive down deeper. You're stronger than you believe you are. So whatever part in your journey that you're on right now, you've reached a stage that's requiring you to dig down deep, to dive down deep. And you're gonna wanna stop. I understand this, really, I really do. But you're being asked to keep moving through whatever the doubt is that you're feeling right now, whatever you're second guessing, keep going. You're stronger than you think you are. You're a strong swimmer. You can make it through this. It's definitely not the time to turn back. Keep going towards what you committed yourself to. You are being tested. No freaking kidding. You're being tested, so keep focused. Recommit if you have to. Like recommit. Bring yourself back to a place of, okay, I was committed to this, and what did you commit to in the first place? Well, that was very clear. Oh, 2 popped out. I don't want to take 2. Do I take 2? No, I heard no. Okay, so if they want those to come out again, one will come out. Correct for neutrality. What is the animal that you want us to see? Correct for neutrality. Remember I said the other day I felt like my mouth was frozen and I couldn't speak? It's happening again. It's really weird. I don't know what it is. So somebody is wanting to talk and they're having a hard time doing it. Or somebody wants to talk and they're not allowed to. They're not able to. Somebody's saying no. Because I feel like my mouth is being sealed shut. I think of that song by Orr. You bind my legs and then you tell me to walk. You tape my mouth and you order me to speak. Somebody's asking the impossible of somebody. I love it when they pop out like that. Chameleon, blending in. What did I say? Somebody might want to speak, but they're being asked to stay quiet. Or maybe, yeah, because the chameleon, my daughter rescues chameleons. She, herbivores, she educates educates people and rescues them and cares for them, takes them in. So Chameleon says, stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. Keep going, keep your head down, keep moving forward, stay dedicated and committed to where you were going, but don't be loud about it. Don't be obvious about it. Stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. So that would be also going with Spirit's flow, right? Going with the flow. Keep moving forward, swimming, right? But you're not going to swim upstream against the current. You're going to not be conspicuous. You might be swimming up against the current if that's what you were supposed to do, right? Maybe you are. Maybe you're a salmon. Ooh, somebody said to me recently, the salmon is my totem, and I thought, what a weird thing for you to say. Why would you choose a salmon as a totem? And I grew up in Canada. Grew up watching the salmon run. It's always made me sad to watch them dying, but they were so determined to do what they needed to get done. They didn't let anything stop them. They freaking jumped up waterfalls. They jumped up rivers. They were dying, but they had to get there in order to spawn. I only said it because I was hurt. I'm sorry. I only said it because I was hurt. I'm sorry. One more. They're upset because you're being wishy-washy. Wishy-washy. Why would somebody be wishy-washy? Because they're tired, right? Wishy-washy, think about it, being pushed around in the current. The current's been turbulent. Maybe they don't realize what somebody else has been going through, and so it feels like they've been wishy-washy. Maybe they're getting it from both sides, and they're trying to find their way through, right? Is that what's going on? So what did Spirit say? Recommit. Recommit to your course. You know where you were headed. You know what you were believing. You know what you were shown. So have outside forces or outside circumstances or just pure exhaustion and tired of doing it. And when you get tired, you aren't seeing and hearing with your higher self. It's your ego that steps in. You're tired, you're run down, right? So you need to take a rest. The hummingbird showed us to take a rest, right? Do what you can to take care of yourself. Hummingbirds move very, very quickly, right? But take a bit of a breather so that you can get yourself balanced and centered, grounded. Your friend is hitting on me. And that's a message you need to understand. Your friend is hitting on me. So that's what somebody needs to understand, that they don't understand why someone's being different. Your friend is hitting on me. So handle it. Okay. Now we go to those who chose the amethyst and clear quartz and lava stone diffuser necklace. Collar. I don't like a collar, but that's why I call it a necklace. If anybody would like to purchase a Reiki charged diffuser, crystal diffuser necklace, bracelet, I got men and women's, I'm wearing mine over here, or would like to have a private reading to delve deeper into what it is that's happening in your life so you could see more specifically what this means, the message that you're getting, what it means, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. And my email address is sherrycolumbus@yahoo.com. I just heard thank you. Thank you for telling me. Your friend's hitting on me. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so your deck is the Faery Oracle. And it's the Riddle Fischer. Divination, seeking out and finding answers. You know what's interesting about this particular picture is, and look at the number 3, an ascended master is working with you. Call on them. Call on the help. For the help of the ascended masters. I call my mom, my sister, my grandma. Those are the first 3 I call. When it's personal. When I'm in needing protection, I call on Michael straight up. When it's something to do with issues like emotional issues, I call on Archangel Metatron. So who is it that you need to ask? Right now, they're showing you a dragon. It's kind of like a gargoyle, but I'm thinking of the dragon. Who is the dragon elder? Call on the dragon to show you. What is it that I'm not understanding? What is it that I need to see? Because at this time, you're seeking out and finding answers. And you're being told clearly through this entire reading that the Ascended Masters are the ones that want to work with you. They're here if you can call upon them. And what I'm looking at right now is there's a place in Arizona. I have never been and I want to go so bad. Now you can see that she's on the outside of a castle. That's kind of like a moat that she's walking through. But there's a pathway, a river that goes through that you can walk through these passageways, just like that. I've never been. I wanted to do it. It's so beautiful. So right now, this one's on a quest, on a mission. Yeah, I love that. I'm all about quests, right? And she's very dedicated. Look she's got her head down. She's got stuff in her head, right? She's thinking. And she's finding something for you. This is what I like. She's on a quest to find the missing piece of information that you need. Thank you, right? But look where she's looking. She's in the caverns, down deep inside this ruinous castle. She goes down deep into these emotional waters. So if this is an old castle, and we're talking about the ancient ones and our elders, this one is going down deep in your memory, down your ancestral line, into your DNA. There's a lot of hidden information there. She's searching patiently for the answer, to help you because of the questions that you're facing right now. So she's going to take you into your subconscious mind when you call upon her. You need to be respectful, as we were told already, because this now, she looks like a beautiful young one. right? She's in spirit. This is the master. Honor her and your connection to her. Fairies are known for finding things. And I talked about, this came up yesterday for me. I'm Welsh. That's my descent, is Welsh. And so this is taking me back. Artemis is the one. This is Artemis for me. When I was in Sedona, Spirit said to me, go to the wash to meet Artemis. And I thought, what? And I know that I had seen fairy lights when I was down in Oak Creek Canyon. They're famous for that down there. I've seen them before. So I went, and I went with my roommate, and I saw Artemis's bow, the bow and the arrow. I've got pictures of it. It's incredible. What's incredible to me is I've seen things, like I said, I've seen spirit, and I've seen things like this before, but I haven't been able to capture them. Even when I have the most up close and personal visits from my animal messengers, for some reason when I go to videotape or take a picture, I'm thinking I'm filming and the whole time it's not there. But 2 times I've been shown spirit and I've been allowed to capture it. Once was the people that were walking out, the energy that was walking out of my screen. I've got pictures of that. You could see multiple people coming out, and I can't believe I was allowed to capture it. And when I caught Artemis in the bow, and I've got pictures to prove it. It was crazy. And so to me, this is Artemis coming forward from my Welsh line. So it's talking about, probably to me, and I know that it is, it's talking to me about issues that my family had. Now, the male members of my family, all the way back on both sides, the Norwegian side as well as the Welsh side, the men were alcoholic, all of them, except for my cousin and my son, and I think that's it, all the others. None of the women were, but the women were obviously in codependent relationships, right? So they had codependence issues. So these are the things that come up for me when I'm thinking about looking into my DNA, finding the truth, finding about something that's missing here, something that's been in front of us the whole time, but we've not paid attention to it. It's also guiding you to something that you thought you may have lost, but it's been in front of you the whole time. I hope it's my turquoise ring that's somewhere in this house. Spirit says, don't ever believe that something is lost, because you can be led to something that you thought you would never see again. You may revisit something that you never thought you would as well. But it's talking about finding something that is lost, recovering a lost memory, past life reading maybe will come to you, past life issues. It's safe to go through this when you have this one guiding you. A lot of people don't want to go deep into their past. They don't want to dredge up the past. That's exactly what she's doing. She's dredging up the past, right? And people don't want to look at that. They're afraid to do that. But you're not going to find a healing or your answers unless you're brave enough to do this. So this is about searching, using pendulums, using water divining. I know where water is. My body knows where to go to find water. I am like a walking divining rod. It's incredible. They love puzzles. I've always said I love mysteries, and then I say I shouldn't say that out loud because then I get more of them, right? So Spirit is saying, don't be afraid to dive down deep into the caverns. And don't think that you can't bring something up and work your way through it. This is about talking about how therapy is very, very helpful. This is about not ignoring psychic hunches or intuitive hunches that you get, flashes. Do you ever get that? Just like a flash goes through your head and you just know something. You can't explain why, but you just know. Sometimes we feel like going forward is the only way to go, right? We got to move, keep moving. Remember the mermaids said, keep moving, right? Keep going. But they didn't say that you have to keep moving forward. Sometimes you circle around. You think about a labyrinth. You think about a medicine wheel. You go round and around and around, and as you go through it, it activates something. I have found myself, I'll show you what I do. I found myself, it's okay, baby, you don't have to move. I was talking to a client, and I was getting messages from Spirit. And I noticed that I was walking, I had headphones on, and as I was walking, I was going like this to my stomach with both hands. I was going counterclockwise with one hand and clockwise with the other hand. So with one hand, I was turning something forward, moving forward, but with the other hand, I was undoing something. And then I noticed I was walking around and around in a circle. It activated something in me. It's like, I just heard in the side of my head, activated carbon. I have fish tanks with one has a dragonfish. That's my dragon, Merlin, right? Think of who Merlin is, the wizard. And my landlord came in and he said, how's Merlin? And I said, he needs half his water cleaned out. His tank needs to be really cleaned out. Half of his water needs to go. So when I pay attention to that, I pay attention to that because I connect to Merlin, right? And you think about your emotional waters. If your emotional waters are not clear and not clean, there's something that's polluted. Is it something you're taking into your body? Is it something that you're swimming around in? Is it thoughts that are in your head? Half of that water needs to be taken out and that tank needs to be cleaned. Merlin's tank needs to be cleaned. I often, and I was worried about the water. It was cloudy and I couldn't figure out what it was. And what I needed was activated carbon. I needed a filter, a special filter. And I got a different type of a filter for him. And so now I change out the activated carbon myself, but you need the activated carbon to filter something out. So there's something that you need activated carbon to filter that out. So it could be somebody who's smoking a lot of pot and they're just smoking a joint, right? They don't have a filter. I have a water bong. I don't smoke pot really. My landlord likes to use this. But if I were to, I would have used a water bong because it goes through this to clear it before it goes through my lungs, right? So if you think about, somebody needs activated carbon. Now for me, my skin was cracking and getting dry. I've told you guys about this. The water here in Canyon Lake has got bleach and chlorine. It's so bad. When I brush my teeth, it tastes like sewer water. It's disgusting. It really is. And so my landlord finally got filters, activated carbon filters. I got one for my shower because my hair, my skin, my face was just, it was awful. I bought it for my daughter, and finally he got one for my faucet. You need activated carbon. This is a message to somebody for water that you're drinking, for a situation that's going on. You activated carbon filter. Somebody will know what I'm talking about. You need activated carbon. Now that might be something that you need to ingest as well, right? It just came up in my head. You need activated carbon in order to filter this out in a positive way. Now, an activated carbon filter, so maybe it's talking about therapy, right? Going to therapy, going to rehab, you need rehab, period. You know, that's fine. It's great that you're not drinking, but you can't do this on your own. And I'm not going to hang out with you unless you do. So that needs to be done. You need activated carbon filter. Something needs to be activated within you to filter something else out. So that's another message. Crystals. Whatever crystal pops into mind. I'm not even hearing a crystal right now. I'll hear it. An activated carbon filter to filter something out. I needed a filter to filter out what I was hearing from people that were pretending to be people other than who they were. I knew that they weren't, but they were tricksters, and they would give certain information. I'm seeing a light shining. I'm watching it move across the ground. I know, what are you showing me? I'm watching a light reflect, a reflection. I'm watching a reflection move. I'm watching a reflection move. It's amazing to see. I can't show it to you guys. It's like I can see it going across. I'm watching a reflection. Somebody reaching their hand out. I'm watching a reflection. Somebody reaching their hand out. I was being given information. So somebody might come to you with an idea, with a method to looking into something, to doing something. It's not something you're familiar with. It makes you uncomfortable. You are interested in alternative methods, but you haven't used them. So you may get information to use a specific alternative method, like past life regression or therapy, a certain kind of therapy, crystal therapy. Maybe you're a medical person. Maybe you're somebody who believes in science and you haven't used the art of crystals. Crystals are extremely powerful in healing. Turquoise is my soul color. It's my soul color, but it's also my soul stone. It's, I had many past lives as a Native American. So funny since I'm Welsh, right? But I did. I've seen that. That's all I've seen, except for when I saw Artemis. And as I said that, turquoise, I heard two doves flew by, a pair, right? Soulmate connection, pausing, harmony, an olive branch. I said someone was reaching out a hand, right? I said someone was reaching out. I was seeing a reflection, somebody who reflected a part of me, or maybe I reflected a part of them, and they were reaching out their hand. And for me, it was a Native American. And what I heard yesterday, somebody was talking about crystals, and they were talking about turquoise. And they said, the Native Americans, if you have any Native American blood, they consider the turquoise their stone. It's their stone. It's sacred to them. But it's my stone. And I said when I lost, remember I said the one thing that I wanted to find was my turquoise? I kept saying, I want my turquoise back. I want my turquoise back. And I said it's my soul color. Clearly it's my soul stone as well. So I'm watching a reflection, and maybe somebody else can't see that. And somebody may come to you with an idea to use something. As I said, the crystal will come to you. Well, obviously, for me, the crystal is turquoise, is what I would meditate to connect with the grandmother, the Hopi grandmother that comes to me. She's the one that's going to help me find what I need. So this is how you can follow my example about what I just did, how I was led back to my answer. Who am I working with? The grandmother. Look how young she is here. Interesting. A reflection. I was speaking to a reflection of the grandmother, and I said that. I felt like I was talking to the grandmother, but I know that the grandmother is in spirit, and that person was here. But I was speaking to a reflection of the grandmother, someone like that one, someone that's also a sage, someone also that had wisdom to impart to me, and they said to me, you need to get grounded. I said, I understand that. Something's not right. You need to get grounded. There's a lot of voices coming. There's confusion. You need to get right back to the basic. What was the original? I hope I'm not confusing you. I feel like I'm giving you an example. And that's the reflection right here. Hi, Mama's boy. It's okay. Sammy. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, I knew who I was talking to. Okay. I don't know if you guys are following this, but I'm getting a lot of answers. Okay, so we're gonna go to the chameleon. And not the chameleon, I'm sorry. How funny. You're the chameleon, I get it. We're gonna go to the animal messengers. So that was just a working example of how you can yourself find the crystal. Maybe it's not crystal for you. Maybe it's using a different type of therapy or alternative method, right? For me, it was crystals, the power of crystals, because what did that do? That connected me to the grandmother, and the grandmother has made herself very obvious to me in my dream time, as well as showing up in the rocks in Sedona. It was the grandmother constantly that I connect to, and I'm connecting to the reflection, and I know who that is. Ooh, rattlesnake. Okay, don't tread on me. The experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. So these experiences that are confusing, and this one clearly going deep, right? Going deep, back into the recesses of your family history, and you're looking for something. You're looking for answers. So you're being initiated into this tribe, whatever your tribe is. Mine's a Native American tribe. Initiation. You got to be careful of that rattlesnake. The rattlesnake, I have had face-to-face meetings with rattlesnakes, very, very close encounters with the rattlesnake. And I'm talking like 6 inches from my feet. One of them was coiled up and looking ready, right? Ready. I mean, no, 3 of them were that way. I've seen a number. It's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And the one, I was out walking barefoot, hiking on the rocks, and one went slithering into his hole, and his body was about that big. He clearly had just eaten, but he was huge. And I was very respectful, right? You're very respectful. When I saw the one that was very big, coiled up in Sedona, he was on the rock. He didn't shake his rattle. He let me see it. And I said, you just stay there, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm not gonna bother you. And I went past, and he let me go by. And so remember, we were told when you connect to that wise one, heed counsel. Someone that you might have thought was dangerous, someone that you might have thought was not, I know who this is for me. Listen to what they have to say. They're telling you something. You're being initiated. Snakes are all about healing, right? They draw the poison out of you. It's interesting because a rattlesnake can bite you and it can kill you, but if you don't die, they get anti-venom from a rattlesnake as well. It's got my initial, S. Maybe I'm the rattlesnake to them, right? Interesting. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Is there a message in here? Reflection. Just thinking about my uncle, right? My uncle was scary. I thought he was scary, but he wasn't what I thought he was. I don't know if you'll forgive me, but I want to talk. So someone who may have hurt you, you didn't die, but they might have hurt you really, really badly. But because you didn't die, maybe the poison from that snake can actually become now the anti-venom. You never know. I feel insecure about my body. I feel insecure about my body. Correct for neutrality. Is there another? You make life better for me. That's nice to hear, isn't it? You make life better for me. One more. That was quick. Their focus is on work, not you. Their focus is on work, not you. This one's focused on their work. You're going through an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. Rattlesnake. 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 I think of that, don't tread on me. It's on a flag, right? Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me. Hummingbird right here again. You will accomplish what might seem impossible to yourself. Something that, impossible to yourself as well as others. Something that somebody else didn't think could possibly happen. Will happen. Will occur. You'll be able to do something. If you are being initiated, going through whatever this is that you've been going through, this is the initiation, fulfilling your purpose as a healer, you will be able to heal, help heal another soul. You're going down deep. You are a healer. You will be able to do what others have not been able to do. You're going to use means that others have not used. Your shamanic tools. your heart. Your healing energy. Reiki, perhaps. Because the rattlesnake speaks about, same thing as the vulture, death, transformation, rebirth. It's a resurrection, a shedding of the old way, right? For a new way to be reborn, so renewal. Nice. I like how that came back around. I was kind of a little bit like, not quite sure about what I was getting. I like that. Okay. So for the last, for fire element, which is the fossil, and this is the bear pig, the pig bear. Pig bear, bear pig, pig bear. I heard wombat just now. Wombat. Is there an animal messenger in here? Wombat? Wombat. No. Dang, I'm gonna have to look that up. Wombat. Why did I hear that? Fairy forest. Now, I didn't say whether I was gonna use, this looks creepy. Looks like a dead bride. BloodMonth. Ugh. I didn't say whether I was gonna use the reversals, but I just encompass all of it in all actuality. I think I've touched on both. So BloodMonth, it's sacrifice, offerings, decision. Creepy, I said. Something looks creepy. The BloodMonth. 21. Graduation. You've graduated something. You graduated a part of your life. You've made it through something. You've proven yourself. You've stood the test of time, clearly. You're a freaking fossil, right? And now there's maybe you've sacrificed. And maybe now there's an offering coming and a decision to be made. Remember, the osprey said, important information is pending. So when we sacrifice something, we better sacrifice it for something worth it, right? It better be something sacred. And sometimes you have to give something up in order to have something else. You can't go rushing with hands full of something else and grab. And the osprey's talons, right? It's got only those two. I think of the song, I tried to carry the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. I had to let something go. Something had to be let go. Gone. It's gone. In order for you to move forward and grab something else. So you're being asked to give something at this time. Offer something valuable. Well, this one's offering themselves. I give myself to you. Now, think about that. I talked about this with my daughter yesterday, and she was, what did she show me? She was hanging around somebody that was really bad news, and I kept saying, I don't like you around that person. She said, she's my best friend. I said, yeah, but she does really bad things. She cheats on her husband, and she does drugs, and you know, she's got a 12-year-old son that is you don't want your son to say, okay, well, why should I not hang out with these kids? You hang out with her. I know what she's all about. You know, everyone knows what she's all about. And so I said, you know, at least you've got Jacob. That's her husband, you know. And she goes, well, that's, you know, that's not a lot. And I said, what do you mean that's not a lot? You know, that's enough. And she goes, you don't even know, Mom. She goes, you've been alone for so long. She goes, it's not enough just to have one person. And I thought, I don't know. I mean, you've got acquaintances, right? You really only need, I mean, she's got an amazing husband. He's amazing. But this one is giving themselves to someone else. So if you so I started thinking about it. And I said, you know, you're right. I don't have to ask anybody else's opinion, never mind permission. I don't ask anybody's permission for anything. But I don't have to ask anybody else's opinion about anything I do or not do. And when I do it, and who I'm associating with, and what, you know, who's my friend or what, anything. Because I live by myself, I govern my own life, right? As much as is possible for people to do so. And I thought, yeah, that's a big deal. And you got to think about that. You know, somebody who's been single their whole life, can you imagine somebody who's been single their whole life, if they're going to give that up, they better be giving it up for somebody worthy, right? And I said, this looks like a creepy bride. blood month, an offering, a sacrifice. I mean, I would be sacrificing my freedom of like, say the person I wanted to connect with had to live somewhere else, and I didn't want to live there, but that's where their job was. Wow, that's a pretty big deal, right? Or, I mean, I've already said, and this is the truth. I have 3 cats, and those are my spirit cats, and they're senior rescues, and I go nowhere without them. That's just the way it is. And that's not a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'm just not. And some people would think, you would give up the love of your life for 3 cats? Yes, because they have been here all along. I've had Liger since he was a baby. He's been with me almost 16 years, right? So if you're gonna give something up, it better be worth what you're gonna give up. You better know that. Now, it could be items. It could be, you know, you live in this location, you live in a really cool place, but then you're gonna move in with your fiance or boyfriend or whatever, or girlfriend, whatever, and they don't have a place like this, but they don't wanna come here, so you're gonna have to give this up to go there. You know, if you love somebody, you know, that to me, stuff isn't a big deal. My animals are a big deal. It could be your pride. I've got to sacrifice my pride. I got to sacrifice my ego, right? I could, you know, maybe I've got maybe I've done something, or maybe I got to own up to something, you know, and there's a lot of people that don't move forward because of pride. They don't want to say they're sorry. They don't want to admit something. They don't want to admit the truth of something. They don't want their mask ripped off, right? So they will sacrifice. Wow, that's a pretty big sacrifice. That says a lot about you, doesn't it? It could be, you know, but that shows you right then. If somebody's not willing to sacrifice their pride, I don't need them in my life. My father's like that. He's not willing to sacrifice his ego and his pride, and that means, okay, I don't move forward having my heart ripped out and feeling sad about it. I don't even understand that, right? There is no ego in spirit. So this is about coming to a decision about a sacrifice that you got to give up something that matters to you. And Spirit's saying that with this, the sacrifice that you're being asked to give up is worth it. So they want you to make a sacred offering. It's got to be sacred. Interesting. I'm wondering what this is in regards to for everybody. It's different for everyone, right? But Spirit said, important information is pending. And what's interesting is, you know, all of those messengers came and then they're gone. They have not appeared again. I'm out here in the fresh air, right? They should be flying all around, but they have not. They all made their appearance. They come because the Spirit sends them, telling you. So remember, the mockingjay, the black phoebe, the osprey, the hummingbird, and the yellow warbler, right? Remember what was going on. I don't know what that little bird is down there. I'm seeing a little bird. You can hear them. That's the mockingjay. But that little bird's not. He's super cute. His little tail is like straight up in the air like this. It's very small. Correct for neutrality on all levels. What is the message for the fossil? Correct for neutrality. I have, when I was a Jehovah's Witness growing up as a kid, there was a couple in our congregation. They were ancient. They were ancient. They were old as hills. And their last name was Foss, brother and sister Foss. And everybody called them brother and sister Fossil because they were ancient. And they were always holding hands. They were married forever. Forever. I don't know, they were easily in their hundreds when they passed. Amazing to be together that long and holding hands. That, whatever they gave up to be with each other was worth it, right? Dang. Ooh, look who came up again, the shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. So, you're being asked to make a sacrifice, right? You're being asked to make an offering, and you have a decision to make. What do your instincts tell you? This one isn't telling you, Heed wise counsel. This one is telling you trust what your instincts tell you. Now, when I see the osprey, I jump. Now, I also paid attention to my cats. When I said certain things, he spoke. When I talked about the reflection of the grandmother, Sammy spoke. I know what that means, right? So trust your instincts to discern the truth of this situation. You don't have to ask other people. Don't ask other people, actually. You trust, what does your body feel? Its feelings, actually, is what you need to go by. The energy. What does it feel like to you? You know, and don't put pressure on yourself. Breathe, like the hummingbird stopped moving, right? Sometimes there's a knee-jerk reaction. You don't want that. I got this earlier, too, about, I think they were talking about Aries people, but it could be anybody that makes quick decisions, right? You react quickly. So don't do that. Stop. Listen. If you normally run headlong, don't. Pay attention to what your psychic senses, your spidey senses are telling you. How you feel. Because I've been in situations before where the situation's supposed to be, you know, it appears this, but it doesn't feel right. Something feels uncomfortable. It makes me nervous. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. It isn't about conditioning from childhood or, you know, I don't trust people. I don't trust a lot of people either. But I know who I feel positive energy with. And there are people who are really, really good, right? They learn how to prey on others. This is a shark. They learn how to prey on others. But the shark has got a very positive message. Have you watched in, wasn't it Nemo? That one shark that was in therapy because he wanted to eat the other fish and he wasn't supposed to. And he kept, every once in a while, he would get a sniff of it and he'd want to go after them and the other ones would restrain him and pull him back. He was in therapy. This shark was in therapy. The shark is normally viewed as somebody very dangerous, right? And this one looks like a blood offering, like I'm gonna marry a vampire. The shark who's been in therapy. Shark talks about survival, confidence, secrets, protection, authority, unpredictability for sure, right? The ancestors, because they're ancient wisdom they're from way, way, way back. Shape-shifting, endurance, assertiveness. Interesting. Trust your instincts. I was already shown 7 years ago that a decision's gonna have to be made by me, and it's gonna look really bad to everybody else, and they're gonna think I'm insane. But I'm going to choose what others would not. I can see myself doing that. 4, the angels are with you. They're all around you, guiding, protecting, and loving you. There is no reason for fear. Trust your instincts. Call upon your angels. Money is coming to you very soon. Be grateful. Teach me how to please you. Teach me. Remember that shark that was in therapy? He was being taught. So that might be a type of therapy. It might be somebody is in school of life learning how to communicate, how to express themselves, how to deal with other people. Maybe they've been very cold and unfeeling because of things that they've experienced in their life. Teach me. Teach me. That shark kept slipping up. It wanted to keep going up. It wanted to bite. It wanted to bite. And they restrained him. He was in school. This is interesting how this is coming out. I really like how this reading is working out. I like it. Correct for neutrality. Okay. One was turned up. I have to turn it back around. Is there anything in this pile? Ooh, yes. Wow, I have never felt such intense feelings. Wow. Intense, right? All of this is intense. I've never felt such intense feelings. Think about that. What did I say? How do you feel? Trust your feelings. I'm going to go to the one more pile, and then we're done. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Anything on this pile, in this pile? Yep, right away. Oh, it's blank. page is blank. I like that. Blank page. You've been offered a blank page. Spirit said, an opportunity is coming. Grab it. The opportunity may not be brought back around anytime soon, if ever. Maybe you've been given an opportunity to do something different, to write it over. This is a blank page. You can write on this whatever you want, right? The sacrifice, the offering, you can make it be whatever it is. You've been offered a new lease. Somebody has been offered possibly a blank page. We're going to wipe out the past. We're going to wipe out what happened. This one was a bloodthirsty killer, right? But he was in therapy. He was in therapy and he's not doing that anymore. He's been offered a new page. Turn the page, a blank page. And Spirit says, open the door to your future. Oh, I love this. I love this reading. Cool. All right, you guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. I will get it uploaded and get it out to you right away. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Here comes the wind. Ooh, emotions are moving. Want to take a peek around? My babies. All right, you guys. Speak again soon.